Bitcoin is absolutely juicing to the moon. We're going to be talking about some of the last key levels that Bitcoin has to break through before this cycle absolutely explodes. Overnight, Bitcoin absolutely smashing through this 7-year previous support, turn resistance, now potentially turning support yet again. Blue line right here, guys, and there are only 3 more levels, all spaced a few $100s apart from each other. If this final line breaks, we'll finally be setting a higher high on this time frame, and things could ramp up extremely fast. With the 21 and 50 daily crosses happening just yesterday, we're seeing a continued pump here, and this is the very last level to break, which if it does, guys, we could get even much more explosive than we've seen over the last few days. Keep in mind there most likely will be a pullback, but overall this is one of the most bullish scenarios that we could have anticipated. And as well as Bitcoin following this pattern that we saw on the charts previously, guys, we'll show you the target, and this is actually before the end of 2020 in our most bullish scenario. As we talked about in yesterday's video, we got that close above 9,700 USD very substantially. Currently, we're at 10,380 US dollars as I'm recording this video. Guys, on the weekly chart, this is absolutely insanely bullish. The RSI had a nice uptick above the 60 on here, guys. Things are absolutely heating up for sure. The volume is absolutely gushing. And most importantly, the entire crypto market cap has this one key level to break, which if it does, we think we could easily get very close to $400 billion in overall market cap very soon, which would absolutely pump the prices of the market in general. And as well, we'll show you a study on how many people roughly are invested in cryptocurrency, but more importantly, how many people and what demographic of people are not, but are going to be coming in over the next few months, which again will absolutely increase the price of Bitcoin. Guys, this is huge. Let's do this. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to an extremely exciting episode of Bitcoin. We have a lot to talk about in regards to Bitcoin's price because, guys, it is absolutely mooning, and it's mooning at a key level after a key break in the pattern that we've been anticipating for 3 months, playing out exactly as myself and most people in this space have predicted. Guys, for the most part, I've seen a lot of uniform opinions over the past few months, and basically it comes down to the fact that most people that I believe and trust in very much in this space, believe the same thing I do, which is that we are about to enter one of the most bullish cycles in the history of investing, let alone cryptocurrency, okay? It's gonna get absolutely explosive, no doubt in my mind, but the question is this actually the beginning of it? And every day that's gone by over the past few days has been more and more of a confirmation that in fact, yes. But with that being said, that doesn't mean we're not gonna get pullbacks. We're always gonna get pullbacks. If you look at the entire history of Bitcoin's chart, it doesn't matter how bullish the pattern is, guys, there is always pullbacks along the way. But so far, the structure and momentum of the last few days of price action for Bitcoin is the most bullish setup basically that you could imagine. There's a ton of wealth that's going to be generated, and specifically some of you might be wondering if you're invested in altcoins, why prices are down a little bit for altcoins. Guys, that's just the name of the game. When Bitcoin really takes over and Bitcoin really starts to rally, that is exactly what altcoins do. This is reminiscent of 2016 and 2017, specifically around the summer of 2017. This is very similar to what happened as Bitcoin was absolutely catapulting. Now, this is more like the beginning of the last bull run, so not 2017, more similar to 2016. But still, the signs are all there. If you're invested in alts, this is the name of the game. When Papa Bitcoin decides to actually break some key structure, a lot of that liquidity flows into Bitcoin from the altcoins. Totally normal, and that is exactly why I have the strategy I do with swapping between those. That's huge. With that being said, if you're interested, make sure to ding the like, subscribes, turn on the ledgers so you can win this ledger. And as well, guys, we're still doing our sale. It's going to be ending soon, 20% off T4 V4. We actually just put our update today, guys. So everybody in T4 V4, make sure to check out today because I do have a specific strategy of what I do when something like this happens with Bitcoin and when altcoins continue to actually move down a little bit. So huge. And as well, we have some really interesting information. This is a very detailed article by Forbes. Unlike any of the other cryptocurrency articles that I've read, it's extremely interesting about the next few months and specifically the next 12 months of cryptocurrency, who's going to be coming in, where a lot of the money is going to be coming from. So this is very important to understand if you kind of want to keep your finger on the pulse of how this market is going to develop and who is going to be developing it most likely over the next year. Because FOMO is going to kick in. This is exciting, seeing Bitcoin above 10K, guys, but this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing yet. Okay, huge. So let's actually start off here with the crypto market cap as a whole, every single crypto. Here we see this, guys. We talked about yesterday. We need to break 310 roughly billion US dollars. Currently, we're at 302 billion US dollars. Now, it stalled out a little bit because some of the liquidity, again, just shifted from altcoins to Bitcoin, so it didn't have a huge impact necessarily on this candle. But guys, we're absolutely so close to this, but the main developing story is 100% with Bitcoin. Also, congrats to everyone holding Elrond, guys. Absolutely moonage for sure. But specifically with Bitcoin, as we talked about in yesterday's video, we want to break this 7-year resistance line. It was actually 7 years of support, okay, but now it has turned resistance, but now we're above it. So we want to see if this can turn support. There are 3 key levels that we want to break to confirm this pattern. Okay, we had the symmetrical triangle breakout. It is continuing here, okay, breaking out exactly as you would expect. But the very last level that we want to break before we get extremely bullish and before we could start seeing some $1,000 moves in the coming weeks, we want to break 10,600, okay? So you can see we actually bounced so far right off 10,400, and then we have these 2 other levels, only $100 apart each, but these are the most key critical levels on this chart that we need to break, and we can show you on some of these other charts as well. So guys, here you can see this entire box is the main area of resistance that we've been unable to shatter through since September of 2019. Back in September, we were actually plummeting through it, but we came up to test this numerous times. Now this is the most important level. It includes 10,400 all the way up to 10,600. So breaking those levels are most key. You can see we have many touches on this chart here, back in May and June, here back in February, and here back in October and November of 2019 as well. So once we shatter these levels, that's basically it. That's when we can begin to actually start seeing some very explosive price levels. As you guys can see, volume is picking up undoubtedly. You see it declining for a while here, and you see it really starting to pick up here on the daily chart. And guys, most importantly, because we're now out of this 2.5-year symmetrical triangle. So this was previously, and it still is, basically the biggest macro pattern to look at, but now we're bouncing out of that. Now that's absolutely key. Again, the last level we want to look at on this weekly and daily chart is this box here. So we want to break 10,600. After that, there are only 2 levels of highs that we really need to pay attention to, which is right around the 14,000, and then pretty much granddaddy 20,000, the biggest level, the ultimate level, the pinnacle of Bitcoin's price. And after that, you guys, absolute explosion. We could see 30, 40, 50K extremely quick. But, as soon as we shatter all-time highs, I have no doubt that this market is going to get explosive. Enthusiasm is going to be exploding. There are going to be new people entering the space by the thousands hourly, okay, when this happens. It's going to be nuts. Once we break all-time highs for Bitcoin, media is going to go insane. The billionaires invested are no doubt going to be shouting from the rooftops. And guys, people are going to be listening. People are going to be FOMOing. So again, people that have been watching and paying attention to the market for the last few months, the last few years, this is what it all comes down to, okay? We're basically right at the precipice. Wow. So I actually want to take a look at this bullish scenario because this makes a lot of sense to me. If we breach this 10.6K level, which you can see right on this chart here, guys, let me get rid of this so you can see what our actual price action is so far. Here's what it looks like right now. Currently, we're right here. If we breach this level, I could see us easily going up to that $12,000 level where we could face some short-term resistance. Again, this is the most bullish scenario, but likely resistance on the way up. I don't think 14 and 13 will necessarily give too much. Again, we basically only wicked up to there. I think this 12 would be much more important, if anything. And then after that, guys, 20. We could see 20K providing some resistance there. But after that, we could see things get parabolic and the chart basically ends, but you can kind of imagine where. And zooming out, this is a realistic pump after breaking out of such a bullish pattern here, and especially with the fundamental news that we've received this year. There's no doubt in my mind crypto is going to get explosive. I don't think Bitcoin is going to have much regulatory trouble in the US and across the globe. I think they've kind of given the green light to run with it right now. And I think what happened in the world back in March, again, kind of ultimately is going to help Bitcoin usher in digital currency. People get interested and learn about decentralization and just help skyrocket the entire process and the entire space as well. And guys, 20K after blue sky breakout, that's when we can start seeing those highs absolutely flow in like many people have not ever witnessed. If you've been here for the last few years, you may have never witnessed something like that, and it's extremely exciting. It gets crazy, and you'll actually get to experience what a market is when it's not in a bear cycle. Because anybody that's been here for the last few years, it's basically all you've experienced. But yeah, if we switch to this 1 hour chart, you can see there were certain levels that we were breaking, and as soon as we did, we kind of just continued higher here. Here we are currently at around 10,350. Very strong level of resistance when it comes to this daily chart. This is basically holding the key to these to really just breaking to see if we can get to 12 and 14K. 10.6 is 100% the level that we need to watch there. We are above all substantial VPVR volume, guys, and again, things are just looking prime. We could see this explode so quickly. Bitcoin halving went really well. We suffered through a few months of boredom, but again, that is all tying into something extremely important here. Now guys, let's actually jump over to this article published actually by Ron Shevlin on Forbes. This is important. So who is buying Bitcoin? A new study from Cornerstone Advisors revealed 15% of American adults now own some form of crypto. That's absolutely huge. A little more than half of whom have invested in crypto for the first time during this year. So a little more than half of those people, of that 15% from that study, invested this year. Okay, we saw a lot of interest come in during the Bitcoin halving just a few months ago. And guys, I think this is absolutely going to continue. A lot of new faces. And if we want to see crypto really take off, we need this new money. We need new interest. We need new investors. So on average, these investors obtained roughly $67 billion in crypto, or roughly $4,000 per person. The self-reported value of cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum for Americans who owned these assets prior to this year is about $11 billion. So basically what they're saying is the new investors roughly invested $4,000 per person, and the people that have been in cryptocurrency before 2020 have roughly $7,000 per person. So it makes sense. You know, the longer you've been in, the more you most likely have. At 15% penetration though, the US cracks the top 10 countries with highest adoption of crypto, according to this data from September of 2019. So here's some demographics. High income, well-educated men actually account for 8 out of 10 of 2020 crypto buyers, and their average income was $130,000 per year. Millennials, 26 to 40 years in age, comprised 57% of consumers buying crypto in 2020. And Gen Xers, age 41 to 55, account for 30%. And overall, 27% of millennials and 21% of Gen Xers now hold some form of crypto, in contrast to 7% of Gen Zers and 3% of baby boomers. Keep in mind, that's just with this study. It's not necessarily exact figures there, as with any study. So the Bitcoin benefit, it's hard to prove holding cryptos is the cause of this. 44% of Americans, though, who have invested in Bitcoin and other cryptos have said their financial health is much better since March, since the crisis that we faced. That's in contrast to just 5% of other US consumers. So basically all that's saying is that people invested in crypto are doing really well right now, and it makes sense. That trend is going to continue in my opinion. So this is also very interesting. Apple Card holders only comprise 5% of credit card customers. However, of those 5% of credit card holders of Apple, almost half of them own cryptocurrency. 2/3 of whom have actually purchased this year, guys. So that is huge. There's an explosion happening, and there's not going to be any change in that anytime soon. So for the next wave of investors, women currently only make up about 1/5 or 20% of current crypto investors. But in the next wave, women are projected to account for 35%. So we have a lot more women, and as well, we have a lot more minorities, African American and Hispanics projected to be coming into the market. And as well, we have a lot more people with lower educations projected to enter the market. And guys, the surge in cryptocurrency investing has been a boon for Square. Revenue for Cash App was $306 million in Q1 2020, which is up from only $65 million in Q1 2019. Reports indicate PayPal intends to offer crypto purchasing through its PayPal and Venmo apps because they know where the money is, they know where the interest is. And as well, among large banks, there are a few that have a head start on others. A site called Moon Banking provides a crypto friendliness score for banks, with USAA and Ally Bank leading the way in the US, guys. Banks are not going to want to miss out on that. They want to make money, and this is an opportunity to make a massive amount of money. Absolutely huge, guys. Things are extremely bullish. Make sure to leave your comment below for the ledger. And as well, if you guys are interested in getting 20% off T4V4, where we go over charting, trading techniques, my portfolio, my investments, make sure to use coupon code PLATINUM at checkout. And as well, if you want some bonuses for trading, we have links in the description. And as well, if you're looking for a new place to buy a lot of these different cryptos, check out the Crypto.com app. Amazing app. I've absolutely been loving it. It's so easy for me to transfer all of my funds around on it. You and I both receive $50 free of MCO when you complete registration. Guys, huge, big things, massive things are coming for crypto. This is extremely exciting. Do not get discouraged if we get a pullback within the next day or two. It would make sense. We would need a retest, as we've been saying for weeks now. If we break out of this triangle, which we have, we may need a retest. We may even go back below $10,000 and still be insanely bullish. So don't freak out if something like that would happen. It's very necessary in the market sometimes. But overall, this thing is absolutely exploding, guys. So much bullish stuff to come. And I have no doubt, you guys, you're looking back next year at this time, some of you are going to be ecstatic of just how much things have changed from now. Fast forwarding a year from now, guys. So much wealth is going to be generated, and people invested in cryptocurrency now are taking the absolute right step.